President Trump is looking to secure the border between the U.S. and Mexico. Last week, the White House asked for National Guard troops to be stationed along the southwest border. In a memo, the president said, quote, "The security of the United States is imperiled by a drastic surge of illegal activity on the southern border." Here to discuss the state of that border and President Trump's decisions are Talking Points analysts Gilat, Melamed, and Payton May. Gilat and Payton, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So in terms of this issue, right, it's been a big issue for President Trump since the campaign. Why is he doing this now? It's been over a year into his presidency.
Right, and I think we saw with that Twitter tirade this growing frustration with immigration policy. He talked about DACA being done. He talked about the caravan of people from Honduras, the migrants seeking asylum. He spoke about potentially pulling out of NAFTA due to Mexican immigration policy, and all this was in the days leading up to when that happened. So it's this growing frustration. I think it's finally boiling over.
And there's been, a buildup of troops when we talk about the security of the border and the stationing of troops there. How secure or not secure is the border, and is there a real need for the stationing of troops, Payton?
Well, I think right now there's been statistics with U.S. Border Control that it's actually been a low number of people crossing the border, but they do measure that by how many people are caught. So I don't know how accurate that is with whether or not people are caught or whether or not they're not being caught. But I think right now, whether or not it's necessary, all has to depend on what they're going to end up doing there, like aviation, helping with vehicles, engineering, communication, surveillance, and that sort of thing.
Right, and going off that low number, it was low. The Department of Homeland Security said that in September, but last month in March, there was a big uptick, so that might have played into this decision. So while it has been low, there was a recent uptick.
And what about the states along the southern border, Arizona, Nevada, Texas, New Mexico? What has the response been from them individually?
Well, so they've all committed to sending troops. Trump wants around 2,000 to 4,000 troops. They're not sending that many so far. In the next week, most of the states, Texas, Arizona, are sending about 225, which is not exactly what he wants right now, but maybe that will increase later on.
Right, and what's important to note now is once those troops get there, they can't actually, arrest anyone or detain anyone. They're really there sort of as a helping hand to the ICE agents. They're the ones who, really have the law enforcement behind them. The guards are really just there to help out, but the governors have been cooperative from all 4 states.
And speaking of pulling resources from different areas, everybody wants to figure out where the money is coming from and how it's going to be allotted. So where is the money coming from and what's it being taken away from?
Right, well, Bush and Obama both put troops at the border for 2 years when they were presidents. So going off of how much the average cost for them, it'll probably cost $500 million to $800 million if he wants 4,000 troops there for 2 years. There was some money in the budget, $1.6 billion for border security, but that's not just for the troops, that's for everything, technology, surveillance. So it does come partially from that $1.6 billion, but again, $800 million without inflation is a lofty number for troops if you're only drawing from $1.6 billion.
And going off that too, Defense Secretary Mattis has put all that money into the Pentagon budget, and it's going to be funded till September, so maybe that's when we'll find out more about the progress of the border wall and what that status is going to be.
All right, Payton May, Gilat, Melamed, thanks so much for joining us.